Food, not only is it essential, but a good meal is downright enjoyable. Every day, all over the world, people gather around a table with good food just to socialize, catch up with each other, and find out what's happening in each other's lives. That makes food the most celebrated and most socialized event almost all over the world. But what about Costa Rica? Today, we're going to discover more about Costa Rica cuisine and how good is it.
Some people eat to live, while others live to eat. In my opinion, there are not a whole lot of things more enjoyable than a good meal with a fine glass of wine shared in good company. When you arrive in Costa Rica, of course, you'll find lots of tourist restaurants. The price at tourist destinations will often be twice as much, if not more. The food and the service is not nearly the same, so I don't count those types of restaurants in this video. If you eat only at those types of places, well, you've paid too much and you've not experienced the true culture or the Costa Rican cuisine. So let's get started with fast food. I think every country has their own type of fast food, and Costa Rica is no different. These Don Polios, which translate to Mr. Chicken, is a popular chain. However, while Costa Rica has a lot of fast food, not many are associated with name brand chains. They simply have a lot of individually owned small fast food type of establishments. Then, of course, I think most countries, including Costa Rica, even have American fast food. However, you don't see many American fast food establishments unless you're in a large enough town. San Isidro is the largest city outside of the San Jose metropolitan area, and I think they only have a McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Subway, and a Taco Bell. In San Jose and the surrounding areas, you'll find a lot more than just American fast food, like Burger King, Carl's Jr., KFC, and then nicer places to eat like PF Chains, Denny's, a Hard Rock Cafe, a few others, and even a Hooters. But you didn't go to Costa Rica to taste American cuisine now, did you? Let's get back to the Costa Rican food, and at the end of this video, I'll tell you what is the most popular type of eating establishment in Costa Rica. And we'll discover, is the food in Costa Rica good? A common or typical Costa Rican restaurant, as strange as it may seem, oftentimes has that name. Typical is the actual name of the restaurant, and the food is advertised as typical. Then you have what is called a bar restaurant, and as you can imagine, it is more of a bar, but you can get finger foods and a limited menu with typical Tico food. And then on the flip side, you have what's called restaurant bars. There you can get a much better dining experience, but you can also get a cold beer and enjoy the bar.
Today we're at the La Torre. The La Torre is one of our favorite restaurants, and it's very typical of a Costa Rican restaurant. This is what you would call a restaurant bar. So it's more of a restaurant, but you can enjoy the bar and things that are there. It's very typical, it's one of our favorites, but it's exactly what you would normally see in Costa Rica. So let's go inside and take a look around. What's very popular with most Tico or Costa Rican restaurants is you're going to notice that it's open air. So almost all restaurants will have an open air. Although this place does have a special place across the way where you can save it for banquets, parties, weddings, and things of that nature. Most restaurants are not enclosed. They're open air, and this one here is just like most of the restaurants. It's beautiful and has a grand view of San Isidro. Let's go take a look. As I said, this is one of our favorites. It has a great view. The waiters, the service is fabulous, and if you look out, you can see San Isidro way down at the bottom. The largest structure is the Catholic Church with the park that's right across the street from it. But if you notice, you have a phenomenal view all the way around. This is very typical of a Costa Rican restaurant, a restaurant bar, where you have great service. The prices are typical of what you would get in most of Costa Rica, and the menu is very typical. It's very good food, wonderful place to go.
Next on our list are upscale restaurants, but usually found only in cities like San Jose, although you will find a few upscale establishments scattered around some of the larger cities. San Isidro even has 2 or 3, one that brews its own variety of craft beers. You'll also find what I call specialty restaurants.
Bazookas is a good example of a restaurant in San Isidro that it's not typical, meaning it's not the normal Costa Rican type meal. Bazookas caters to all of the foreigners, the Americans that have decided to retire in this area. So they have a typical or a regular American style breakfast, something that is really hard to find in Costa Rica, where you can actually get bacon, eggs, an omelet, waffles, pancakes. Those things are kind of hard to find in Costa Rica if you're outside of the large city like San Jose. So Bazookas is a type of restaurant that caters to the Americans who decided to live in this area, and they really have great prices. They speak English. It's one of the type of restaurants you'll find in San Isidro.
And lastly, we've come to what are the most popular eating establishments in all of Costa Rica, and those are called sodas.
Sodas. They're probably the most popular type of eating establishment in all of Costa Rica. You'll find sodas almost everywhere, and they're typically small mom and pop restaurants where you can pick up just a typical type of menu. A lot of them, the food is going to be great. You're not going to have a huge selection, but it's where you can pick up food really quick. People all over the area where they're working, when it's lunchtime, can walk to a soda, pick up something to eat, and they can eat and get right back to work. Sodas are a great place where you can experience the true culture of Costa Rica.
Sodas are my favorite places to eat, but what's the answer to our question? Is the food in Costa Rica good? Well, that depends on your taste and what type of eating establishment you choose to dine in. Some people assume that Costa Rican food must be a lot like Mexican food. However, it's not even close. Mexican food is usually spicy, and we found most typical Tico meals lack seasoning and not much, if any, salt. So allow me to ask you a question. I'm sure many times before going out to eat, you'll ask your partner, what do you feel like eating? Would you like to go get some Italian, Chinese, maybe some Cajun food, or what about Japanese sushi? But have you ever said or heard someone say, oh, let's go get some Costa Rican? That doesn't mean it's not good food. However, since we're from South Louisiana, we're used to spicy Cajun cuisine. So Costa Rican food in comparison is bland for our taste buds. However, if you don't like much seasoning and prefer to actually taste the natural flavors of what you're eating, then Costa Rican might be what you're looking for. Leave a comment below this video and let us know, what kind of food do you enjoy, and do you think you'd like Costa Rican food after watching this video?
All this talk about food is making me hungry.
Me too. There are several restaurants in Costa Rica that we just really enjoy, and the meals we look forward to. We just almost always have to ask for a little salt.
You do have to ask for salt, and that's simply because the humidity here, the salt will go bad, and so a lot of times they don't keep it out. But if you ask for salt, they'll give you salt. Once you apply just a little bit of salt on your food, yum!
Red Robin.
Wow, that was quick, and this looks delicious. Which brings me, we're eating at one of our most favorite places in all of Costa Rica, which is right here at our home.
Our own dining table.
Because we can really cook the things we like, and there, like Rebecca said, there's lots of restaurants and there are a lot of places we go to that, boy, we can't wait to go eat. But we just enjoy living in Costa Rica, enjoying this phenomenal view and eating a meal. That brings me, now that you've got an idea what the food is like in Costa Rica, what about next week? What are we going to be talking about?
The cost of living in Costa Rica.
The cost of living in Costa Rica. So, is it expensive?
It can be.
Is it cheap?
It can be.
I guess I'm going to have to wait till next week to find out the facts on the cost of living in Costa Rica.